Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Paolo, to invite me as a drummer. And the first one we have learned that the production of food is strictly connected with the environment, the loss of biodiversity, energy use, climate change, greenhouse gas emission, a lot of things. But I'd like to start with a paradox. A paradox is that agriculture is a natural activity because we have to focus on a single species. All our efforts are toward a single species. So we mentally lose the environment. And also it's interesting that Professor Diamond of UCLA said that agriculture led to the invention of more and better weapons, soldiers, welfare, and class division. So alternatives is the manhunter, and the manhunter in the Philippines was the average life of 19. So we have to decide what we have to do. And in this case, we have known that the production of food takes amounts of energy and contributes to the greenhouse gas emissions. So we have to concentrate on this concept. And organic farming is a kind of natural way to produce food. So what is organic farming? Organic farming, there is the most shared definition, and the most important thing is that organic farming excludes the use of synthetic fertilizer, pesticides, growth regulators, and also feed additives. And also organic systems rely upon rotation, animal measures, and it's very, very important because of the soil. The soil is a very, very important matter in organic agriculture because the fertility is the basis of the agriculture in the long-term activity. And also, only biological control agents and natural compounds are available for the management of pests, disease, and weeds. So, do organic farming provide solution to the resource efficiency and to ecological food production challenge? Is this a new way to do agriculture? Well, before making a list of good and bad, that is the theme of this relation, we have to focus what is conventional and organic farming, for example, to manage a disease. In the conventional agriculture, we have a synthetic pesticide, and the synthetic pesticide activity, we have to know if is or not able to control a disease by, in bracket, killing the pathogen only. In organic agriculture, we have the same, of course, activity, but also the activity and the treatment with a biological control agent, like, for example, trichoderma, is also to improve plants' characteristics. I mean the growth and productive factor of the plants, water and mineral use efficiency, resistant to stress, for example, by improving the right part of roots, and also product quality. So we have, I think this is a very, very important point, an holistic approach. So not limited with a parameter, but on the whole. And this is very important in organic agriculture. So the production of organic meal. I try to summarize a lot of papers, and the right parameters for the production of organic milk is a reduction of CO2 emissions, lower energy requirements, higher soil organic matter content, that is very important, lower nutrient loss, absence or strong reduction of synthetic pesticide and fertilizer, and in some cases also lower acidification and eutrophication. But on the other side, we have an increase in methane emission, a higher land use, lower productivity, and also average operating costs that are higher in organic. So, there is also an interesting point that I found in literature, because we have that organic farms tend to have lower or higher impact as nitrogen leaching, nitrous oxide, and ammonia emission, depending on the measure that you do. Lower per unit of field and higher per unit of product. So it's interesting that we have to decide what we have to do. And this is because there is a very, very variable that we have to think. And it's very, very difficult to compare organic and traditional. But most of the studies demonstrated that lower environment impacts is from organic farming. And the reason is an enhancement of biodiversity, a sustainability over a long term, that is a very, very important point in this time. And also, in bracket, is a better soil. What it means, better soil? Fertility, more fertility, a control of the erosions, is a kind of buffering stability function of the soil, and also carbon sequestration that is very, very important in global warming. So, another point, interesting point, is are organic food safer, are more nutritious? There is a French recent research that stated that organic agricultural systems produce food with very, very high quality compared to the standard productions. More dry matter and minerals, more antioxidant micronutrients, very important, more polyunsaturated fatty acid from organic animal products, less nitrates, and similar level of mycotoxins. That is a very, very long debate on the presence of mycotoxins in organic food. Another research from USA, Stanford University, stated that there are a limited evidence for the superiority of organic food. And this research stated that there is highly heterogeneous, so it's very different, very difficult to compare organic and conventional production. But also they found higher levels of total polyphenols, and also omega-3 fatty acids from organic milk were increased. The last one, very recent, is from INRAN in Italy, that stated that organic products have higher multinational values. So more polyphenolic compounds, more carotenoids that are very important in some human diseases, and also more polyunsaturated fatty acids that are also important for human health. So, all the studies stated that organic food does not contain any pesticide residues or additives at 40 to 20%. So it's very, very important. The perception is quite funny, this experiment, because a pair of biscuits, of potato chips and yogurt were submitted to a test to a lot of consumers. But products are labeled as organic and regular, but they were identically and are organically produced, so are completely identical products. And results were that participants estimated that those food with organic label to be lower in calories and with better nutritional evaluation, for example, tests lower in fat, higher in fiber, than those without the organic label, and are completely identical. This is that we know that the importance of label, but also it's important because people trusted in organic food. And this is very, very important. Okay. European community promotes and supports organic farming, and there are websites to help. It's a kind of guide to food safety, quality, and health and nutrition. And also food educational programs are ongoing in all over the Europe, in Italy in particular, aimed at encouraging healthier and more sustainable food choice among children, because we have to start with young people if you want to change something in the world. And Italian schools go organic. In my region, the Emilia-Romagna region, has implemented a law that 10% of organic diet is imposed for nursery and primary school from 3 months to 10 years, and at least 35% in advanced school, university, and hospital. So there is the policy that in this situation finally decides. Conclusion. The first conclusion is there is a very, very variable, and a lot of variables play an important role in the comparison between organic and conventional agricultural in general. But most of the studies show that the less environmental impact in comparison with conventional is from organic products. We also have to think that the current farming system produced both hunger and obesity, and billion tons of edible foods go wasted. So it's very, very important. We have to decide what we have to do. And can organic farming feed all us? This is a very, very old debate. It's quite an ethical scientific dispute between GMO, considered a kind of social Darwinism as junk food for lower classes and organic food for an elite. And although overall organic yields are significantly lower than conventional yields, organic farming does have a role. This is an important publication in Nature, recent, 2012, that stated that organic farming performed well in a lot of situations. And other publications stated that on average, but there is very, very different among different situations, on average 80% of conventional yields are compared with organic farming. So we have to think also that organic farming is not only a group of techniques. It's a typicality, territory, a set of attitudes about the land and about farmers' relationship with the land. As the philosopher Hume, great resemblance between mental and bodily taste. And we have to work together, that we have to discuss on all the opportunities to improve the sustainability of food production in this world that is a global world. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefano. Well done, again, within your time. And I was particularly struck by your description at the beginning about the synergistic effects that organic farming allows. And it made me think of the previous discussions and the challenge we have of actually better understanding the value of organic farming systems based on those synergies. I know there's a big debate in California and in the United States around that right now. And I'm hoping that perhaps in the discussion we can get into what it would take for researchers, what kind of incentives are needed from the policymakers to the researchers in order to get them to actually engage and try and identify, assess, and describe those synergies so that farmers can actually benefit in some way from delivering those synergies. That's a big challenge.